this time, I would like to call to order this meeting of the Arlington Independent School District Board of Trustees for May 15th, 2025, beginning at 5:08 p.m. First on our agenda this evening is the swearing in of our school board trustees, and presiding over that swearing in are the Honorable Carrie Walker and Mrs. Ruth Beasley. First, we will be swearing in place 4. First up is David Wilbanks. Please step to the podium, Mr. Wilbanks. Presiding over Mr. Wilbanks' swearing in for place 4 is the Honorable Carrie Walker, who has been the presiding judge of the Tarrant County Criminal Court No. 2 since 2014. Judge Walker and Mr. Wilbanks, please both of you step forward to the podium. And when you're ready, Judge Walker, we would love for you to do the honor of swearing in Mr. Wilbanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge Walker, for being here. I'm being sworn in tonight on my family Bible that dates to the 1860s from my great-great-grandfather, and it was a gift from his father, Gardner Wilbanks, the patriarch of my family in Texas. And not only is it a connection to my family legacy here in Texas, but also to the first school board elections in the state of Texas. In 1866, in the 11th legislative session, that session enacted a public school act because for 20 years, they've had trouble getting public schools established since Texas was, before that, but when Texas was a republic. So that order, that act required every county in the state of Texas to divide up in one or more school districts. My third great-grandfather, Gardner Wilbanks, was chosen to be on the, to divide up precinct 5 of Johnson County, which is in the far southeast corner along the Brazos River, around Cleburne State Park, if you know where that is. And since it was all Wilbanks land back then, they divided into a single school district that became known as School District Number 16 in Johnson County. Now, the act that was passed by the legislature also required that school board elections be called for every school district that was created. So Gardner Wilbanks was the election judge for that precinct, and the election for the very first school board elections was held in Gardner Wilbanks' house. And so tonight, not only am I honored to use this Bible to honor the legacy of my family in Texas, but to honor public Texas school history. So with that, I would like to have my wife, because this is a very heavy Bible, I would like my wife to come up and hold the Bible during the ceremony.
Okay.
You got it?
I got it.
All right, David, if I get you to raise your right hand, and you need to state after what I read to you. All right, state after me. I, David Wilbanks, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee, place 4, Arlington Independent School District of the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state,
great state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
All right. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Good job. Thank you, Judge Walker. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Wilbanks. And Mr. Wilbanks, I believe there is a document that needs your signature. Mr. Walker might have that document. We'll wait a moment for that. And Mr. Wilbanks, you are officially sworn in as our Place 4 trustee. Congratulations. Next, in Place 5, we will be swearing in our board president, Mr. Justin Chapa. Mr. Chapa will be sworn in this evening by his mom and Sam Houston High School alum, Mrs. Ruth Beasley, who is also a notary public. Mrs. Beasley and President Chapa, thank you for joining us at the podium, and please begin the swearing in when you're ready.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, repeat after me. I, Justin Chapa,
I, Justin Chapa,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of Trustee Place 5,
the duties of the office of Trustee Place 5,
Arlington Independent School District
Arlington Independent School District
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the laws of the United States
of the laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Right.
Mr. Chapa, would you like to say a few words this evening?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Vice President McMurrow. I don't have a lot to say. This is a small crowd tonight. All of you, I know you in some way, or friends or family. I do want to recognize my family. You met my mom, Ruth Beasley. Also tonight have my dad, Roel Chapa, over there, my stepfather, Bob Beasley, my wife, who I couldn't do any of this job or anything really without. Anna Chapa is here. I also have my mother-in-law, Kathy Ingebretson. And then I have up on the front, I have my niece, Kaylee Capobianco, my youngest, she's in the 2nd grade, Evelyn Chapa. And if we go back, the guy in the Arlington Colts hoodie, even though it's 100 degrees outside, is my oldest, Benjamin, who's a 9th grader at Arlington High. And then we have a friend of the family, Joe, is here, and then my niece, Christelle Capobianco, is here as well. So I also have some friends visiting from Houston. I work at the McDowell-Heatherton firm, which is based out of Houston, and tonight is, of all things, the Ranger game night for the Arlington office. And so our office head, Amy Boyer, is here, but our firm chair, David McDowell, came up from Houston, and Will Thomas, one of our partners from Houston. So even though they're Astro fans, and David made clear to me that he's wearing an Astros tie, they did trek all the way up to Arlington to go to a Ranger game tonight. I just want to say thanks for the opportunity to do great work with y'all and for coming and supporting me tonight. For those of you who love public education, this is a really tough time. You've been watching the news the last few days. It looks like we're going to get a $55 increase to the basic allotment when we needed about $1,350 to increase in the basic allotment just to get us back to 2019. If you've grown up in Arlington, you know that our district is facing a lot of challenges and looks a lot different today than it did when I was growing up here. And so I think the headwinds against us are pretty strong, but I look forward to handle those challenges with this board. I made a post on Facebook not long after I was elected president by this board last year, and noted that it's a little bit interesting being my age, but also being the longest tenured on this board at just a little bit under 8 years. But this is a fantastic board that represents all parts of the community that I know has the best interest of our kids in mind. And I know that despite the very significant challenges that we're going to be facing, these are the right folks to tackle those challenges. And I know they're going to do right by our kids and our community. And alongside our new superintendent, at some point I'm going to stop calling him new, Dr. Matt Smith, who's been here for well over a year now. So thank y'all for coming in tonight. Thanks for supporting public education and supporting me as well. And look forward to working with you.
Hearty congratulations to Trustee Chapa and Trustee Wilbanks. Judge Walker and Ms. Beasley, I want to thank you both for coming to our board meeting today to swear in our re-elected trustees. Thank you. We have such a great opportunity in Arlington to elect individuals that citizens believe will represent them well in making decisions that impact the lives of our children and community. We will now take a brief recess to visit, and then we will reconvene into our board workshop in room 401. The time is 5:18 p.m., and we are now in recess.
Good evening. I will reconvene into open session this meeting of the Arlington ISD Board of Trustees on May 15th, 2025, and we will be back at 6:58 p.m. Thank you for joining us tonight. Our board meetings are open to the public, and we welcome everyone. And thank you for participating in public education. While our meetings are open to the public, this is a meeting, and we have business to conduct. Disruptions are not permitted, and anyone who disrupts the meeting or speaks when others are speaking may be asked to leave or be escorted out by the security attending the meeting. We always welcome civic input, but insist that we remain respectful and civil. Tonight, we will start with our Pledge of Allegiance. We have a student from Farrell Elementary, Grayson West, will lead us in the Pledges of Allegiance tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Grayson. We'll now have a moment of silence. Thank you. To learn a bit more about our student who led us tonight in the pledges, I'll turn it over to our Executive Director of Engagement, Equity, and Access, Aaron Pralas.
Thank you, President Chapa. So helping us with the pledge this evening, we had Grayson West, a sixth grader from Farrell Elementary. He's joined this evening by his mother, Kaya Pena, and his stepmother, Marissa West, and his principal, Dr. Glenn Brunk. And he has a couple of siblings here, too, so thank you for sharing this event with your family. I got to learn a little bit about Grayson here throughout the week and this evening. He loves to eat sushi. And so do I. And so we're going to talk about our favorite sushi restaurants. He loves math, and he says that his mathematics really helps him with his work with the chess club. And so he likes being on the chess club. He also has leadership capacity there at Farrell Elementary. He serves as the House of Service sixth grade representative on student council. So like many elementaries, they have the house system, and he represents students via student council. He's participated in UIL academics and won a first place medal for impromptu speaking. And so he's going to tell me some of his secrets about impromptu speaking. And I saved this one for the last because I was really enjoyed talking to him about his favorite hobby. He loves crocheting. And his grandmother taught him how to crochet, and we had a similar experience growing up, so we had something to talk about there. And when I asked him what's one of his favorite projects, and he did a quilt as a GT project at school, and I said, well, tell me something interesting about the quilt that would tell a story, and he said, yes. He said it was a story quilt. He said each square represented a year of his life and his favorite color during that time of life. And he's still working on hats and gloves, and he's even made Christmas presents for his relatives. And he's currently working on a blanket with his grandmother's help. So, Grayson, thank you so much for sharing the Pledge of Allegiance today, and thank you for your leadership on campus.
Thank you, Mr. Pralas, and thank you, Grayson, for joining us tonight. We'll move on to the recognitions portion of our agenda. After our recognitions tonight, we will take a short recess for pictures and celebration in the boardroom and lobby, and all of you are invited to join, so please stick around for that. Recognition item A tonight is the presentation of our GATE scholars, and I'll turn it back over to Mr. Pralas.
Thank you very much, President Chapa. So the GATE Scholarship is a highly selective full-ride scholarship for exceptional minority high school students in the United States. It's funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It covers tuition fees, room and board, books, and transportation for the full cost of attendance, not covered by other aid. The National Scholarship supports, again, National Scholarship supports 300 students annually, nationally. Okay, let's remember that, 300, okay? Focusing on academic excellence, leadership, and personal success. It aims to help outstanding students from various backgrounds reach their full potential through college and beyond. GATE scholars exhibit outstanding academic record in high school. Demonstrated leadership ability is shown through participation in community service and extracurricular and regular activities, and exceptional personal success skills such as emotional maturity, motivation, and perseverance. Ladies and gentlemen of the gallery, we have 3 GATE scholars from Arlington ISD. So 3 of the 300 nationally, we have 3 here in Arlington ISD. We'd like to recognize 2 scholars from Arlington Collegiate High School. Now, they're not able to be with us this evening because they are celebrating their senior prom along with their principal. And so we did not want them to miss that event, but they have a message for us, which I think we're going to cue up the video at this time.
I'm pleased to introduce both Evelyn Rosales and John Wynn as winning the Bill and Melinda Gates Scholarship. We're very proud at Arlington Collegiate High School as there was only 3 winners in our school district, and 2 out of those 3 are Arlington Collegiate High School Lions. We're really proud of their hard work. This scholarship takes a lot of time and effort to put into it, and these kids really stuck with it. And more importantly, they just really worked hard. From day one they were here as an Arlington Collegiate High School student all the way here until the very end. They've always done the little things day after day that really make the big difference, and that's why they're in the position that they are. And we're very proud and a lot of Lion pride for them.
Hello, my name is John Wynn, and I'm from Arlington Collegiate High School. And I would like to thank the board for recognizing me for winning the Gates Scholarship. I would also thank my parents for supporting me and the teachers at ACHS for helping me succeed. My plan in the future is go to the University of Texas at Arlington to graduate with a biology major and become a doctor in the future. And the Gates Scholarship will help me do that by financing my education.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Rosales. I wanted to start off by thanking the board for recognizing me as a Gates Scholarship recipient. I also wanted to thank my parents and Arlington Collegiate High School for helping and supporting me throughout my journey. My next steps forward are to go to the University of Texas at Arlington to pursue a degree in mechanical engineering. The Gates Scholarship has helped me achieve my dreams of becoming an engineer because I'm able to network and connect with many mentors and students who are just like me, and also allow me to dedicate more time to my studies and extracurriculars at college. If I had to give a piece of advice to younger students, it would be that if you wanted to get good results, you should make sure that you're always putting in enough effort because your dedication and hard work will always matter.
And also, we're honored this evening to have our 3rd Gates Scholar here present with us in the gallery today. And so I would like to introduce Principal Juan Villarreal, Principal Sam Houston High School, so that we can learn a little bit more about Abner Mejia Lopez.
Thank you. President Chapa, School Board, and Dr. Smith, thank you for this opportunity. It is an incredible honor to introduce and recognize Abner Mejia Lopez, a remarkable young leader and a shining example of dedication, character, and resilience at Sam Houston High School. Abner has made school history by becoming our first ever Gates Millennium Scholar, a distinction awarded to only the exceptional students in the nation. He is also a Quest Bridge Scholar, earning a full scholarship to attend the prestigious Washington University in St. Louis, where he will continue to thrive and inspire. Abner's accomplishments go far beyond academics. He serves as Vice President of the National Honor Society and Parliamentarian of the Student Council, and was named an outstanding student in his 9th grade year. So he started this early on. Whether leading service projects at Mission Arlington or mentoring young students at local elementary schools, Abner leads with humility, heart, and deep commitment to serving others. A la familia de Abner, queremos decirle que su hijo es un orgullo para nuestra comunidad. Su esfuerzo, dedicación y ejemplo son inspiración para todos. Gracias por crear a un joven tan excepcional. Felicidades también a ustedes por este gran logro. Abner's journey, defined by perseverance, achievement, and service, stands as a powerful example for students who may not see what's possible for themselves. By sharing his story, he is opening doors and creating new pathways for those who will follow. We are incredibly proud of Abner Mejia Lopez and all that he represents. Congratulations to him and his family for this historic achievement. Thank you. Now bring Abner forward.
So I have a little something prepared here. Unlike the guest Pledge of Allegiance speaker here, I'm not that good at impromptu. So, so first of all, I want to thank the Board of Trustees for this recognition and having me here. I want to thank especially President Chapa and Dr. Smith and the rest of the board. I also want to thank those who are present with me here, including my family, friends, and staff of Sam Houston High School, including Ms. O'Brien, Ms. Carter, and Mr. V, also Mr. Talamantes. Thanks for joining me here tonight. I am extremely thankful to be recognized here, along with the other Gates Scholars in the district. I couldn't believe it myself when I saw the email's header start with the words, "Congratulations on Easter Sunday." It wouldn't have been possible without the help of so many people, most of all, my parents and the AVID program. It might sometimes sound cliche, but I want to thank my parents and for always being there for me. I mean it. They have always been there for me, whether it was taking me back and from school or events or just in general supporting me throughout the way. There were many times I felt discouraged or doubted my abilities, but they were always there to keep me from quitting. Aside from my parents, the AVID program was integral for me and is a large part of the reason why I'm here. They helped me build my resume, apply to scholarships, and apply to college as well. It was thanks to the AVID program that I became a Dream Big, Determined Scholar, which led to me applying to Questbridge and also Gates. So thank you so very much, Ms. Camargo, Ms. Gaona, Ms. O'Brien, and Mr. Talamantes, as well as the rest of the AVID program. I plan on going to WashU, which is in St. Louis, Missouri. It's a bit far. I'm planning on majoring in biochemistry, and eventually I plan on applying to medical school. I plan on doing the most I can with all I've been given through Gates. I want to do research, get clinical experience, and again, like I said, do the most with this. For my siblings and the younger generations, I want to tell you to never stop learning and never give up. Sometimes it can seem like your learning or efforts aren't bearing any fruits, but just trust the process. Your efforts will bear fruit eventually, as seen here. Thank you.
Thank you, Abner. It's great to hear all that you've accomplished. I mean, I actually know a little bit more about you because of the scholarship applications you put in for the senior awards at Sam Houston, and you have an incredible story. Something I thought was really interesting about you is you're learning another foreign language, aren't you?
Yeah.
What are you learning?
Korean.
Okay, not a language that we see many people trying to learn. Mm-hmm. You have an incredible story. You've accomplished so much, and you've done the community very, very proud by being the first Gates Scholar from Sam Houston. When I was a teacher, not at Sam Houston, but many years ago, I taught seniors, and we had some Gates Scholars from the high school that I taught at, and it was such a big deal, and the community really rallied around them, and it's just a testament to your hard work about that and in the quality of student that you are. So congratulations. We have a special gift for you that we give to students that we recognize. So at this time, I'll ask Ms. Fowler to join Dr. Smith and come down and present you with a token of our appreciation.
You are incredible. We are so proud that you are an AISD student, and we know that you will continue to make us proud, and we're going to follow your successes, and you're an amazing, amazing young man. Thank you for all you've done. This is a pin that we all wear, and we only give those to very special people, and we want you to have that pin to remember us by. You don't have to wear it, but if you want to, you can. And we're just proud to be able to present you with that.
She's nicer than I am. You better wear that in St. Louis. We want you to wear that in St. Louis. Come on over here for a second. Abner, this is just a certificate of appreciation for you. Let's look this way, Spence, so he can take some pictures. I just want to say, and Mr. Chapa mentioned this, your story is pretty amazing. And what I really love the most is how you focused on your family first. And we know how important families are in supporting our students to do amazing things. Your family is the epitome of that, and your hard work has really paid off. So you not only have made Sam Houston High School proud, just know you've made Arlington ISD proud as well, and you've always got a home here in Arlington ISD. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Are you trying to get the heads out of the back? Is that what's going on?
We'll go ahead and we'll.
We'll do that. Oh.
Hold on one second.
Oh, I was gonna say we'll have a reception. Yeah, we'll do it during the reception time.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. We'll do it at the reception.
Okay, we have one more recognition item before our reception tonight. That's item B, our Teacher Appreciation Week recognition, and we'll turn it back over to Mr. Perales.
Thank you, President Chapa. Last week, campuses across Arlington ISD came together to celebrate the incredible impact of our teachers. From yard signs and handwritten notes to breakfast spreads and surprise lunches, our schools found meaningful ways to say thank you. It was a beautiful reminder that appreciation doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be genuine. Tonight, we want to close that celebration with a special message straight from the students who feel that impact every single day. We have a special video for our teachers.
Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you to all the teachers in the AISD district.
Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you to all those amazing teachers out there. We love you, Lamar teachers.
Thank you, Coach Off and Ms. Scott. Thank you, Coach Stevens and Mr. Meyer.
Happy Teacher Appreciation Week from Bulls. Go Bulldogs!
I would like to appreciate Ms. Babcock and Ms. Graham.
I would like to recognize Coach Berlanga for Teacher Appreciation Week.
I would like to thank Ms. Williams for Teacher Appreciation Week and that she always thinks of me in her class.
Happy Teacher Appreciation Week from Bowie.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez, for being the greatest teacher ever.
Thank you, Coach Williams, for always being there and supporting me. I want to say thank you to Ms. Carr for being the best teacher ever.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for always giving me grace for my work, and then thank you, Ms. Carroll, for being one of my favorite teachers.
Thank you, Ms. Malone, for all you do.
Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Every person in Jones loves what you do for the school. I would like to give a special shout out to Ms. Alassi and Ms. Davis for being their first year and being a wonderful teacher.
Thank you, teachers, for all your hard work.
Well, we certainly do appreciate the work of our staff and our teachers on Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. I am going to just move things around just a little bit, just in recognition of what we've got going tonight and how we've structured tonight's meeting. Ms. Acosta, do we have any registered speakers for an open forum for agenda item tonight?
President Chapa, we do not.
I understand we have one speaker for non-agenda forum, right?
Correct.
I will go ahead, and I see that she's present and has children with her, and so I'm not going to make her wait until we're done with our closed session later tonight. We will go ahead, and I see Ms. Syed that you're here. Ms. Syed, you're familiar with our protocols for speaker. I don't have to explain them to you. You will have 3 minutes to speak based on the lights in front of you. So when Ms. Acosta gives you the signal, you'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you, President Chapa. I should bring kids all the time then. I'm here to give you the Tarrant Appraisal District update. And I do not want to talk about something that your staff already knew. I'm talking about something that Tad sent the postcard to the non-homestead properties. Okay, so for 22,000 property owners get the postcard incorrectly. They're supposed to get the notices. So Tad sent them notices along with the apology note with the protest deadline of June 2nd. And I was one of those fortunate 22,000 residents. And I asked them the question back on April 24th on Commissioner Simmons' property appraisal town hall. I was thinking it's some kind of error. And yes, it was an error in their computers. and figure out that it's over 22,000. So they solve it. They send a postcard to all the non-homestead properties, but they send postcard to all the property owners. But notices, if you register to any agent, they did not send it to the property owner, they send it to the agents. So that's another issue. They can send it to agent, but you know, a lot of people showed up to appraisal district and said, oh, we did not get any notice. And some of the property owners, so the chief appraiser mentioned during an open forum that the county overall, on an average, county property values went down by 8%. So if you get the notice and your value, market value is same as last year, go ahead and file the protest. You will definitely get some kind of relief. The preliminary value does not include the value of new sales of existing property. That's against their own reappraisal plan. They use the last year value. And during May 1st entity meeting, I raised that question, and I did not get any satisfied answer. With the new BPP exemption, the 85% of counties' BPP account would pay $0 on the school taxes. So it's 38,000 accounts. It's countywide. I did not get the number specific for Arlington ISD. They just gave everyone overall county values. Probably you will get the answer from appraisal district, but they did not give it to us. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Syed. We will now take a brief recess for photos and a reception in the lobby, and we'll reconvene up here at the podium in about 10 minutes. The time is 7:20, and we are in recess. Okay, we are back from recess. It is 7:30 p.m. And we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We are actually going to go into closed session after our recognition. So also at 7:30 p.m., we will convene into closed session in the board chambers pursuant to sections 551.071 through 551.084 and 551.089 of the Texas Government Code in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act for the topics that are set forth on our agenda. We will reconvene into open session following the adjournment of closed session. It's 7:30 and we are moving to closed. All right, it is 8:59, and we are back from closed session. Closed session formally ended at 8:51. The board took no action in closed session. We've already done open forum for agenda item tonight, so we'll move on to our first and only action item besides consent for this evening, which is the election of our board officers as part of our annual internal organization. And this is the only time of year in which the president will relinquish the gavel to Dr. Smith. And so I'll turn it over to Dr. Smith.
Thank you, President Chapa. Do we have a motion and a second for President, Vice President, and Secretary of our Board of Trustees?
I move that we elect Justin Chapa as President, Sarah McMurrow as Vice President, and Brooklyn Richardson as Secretary.
So we have a motion by Mr. Wilbanks and a second by Ms. Fowler. Is there any further discussion? Okay. At this time, let's vote. The motion passes, 7 in favor, no opposed. Congratulations, board officers, for the upcoming year. And now I have to pass this back, and I didn't even get to bang the gavel, which I'm very disappointed in.
Okay. We will now move on to the committee and staff reports portion of our agenda. We're going to move a couple things around here too. We'll start with item B, which is a report on our district priority updates, and this one is on culture. We have a professional learning plan report from district staff, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Smith.
President Chapa, members of the board, I'd like to invite Dr. Wirtz up and Ginger Cole-Leffel up as well. They're going to provide you an update on our professional learning plan. As you know, this was part of the priority that you adopted. We had a specific key progress measure regarding the professional learning plan, and tonight they are here to present that information to you on the work that's been done.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Good evening, President Chapa, Dr. Smith, and members of the board. I'm excited to be able to report on the work that we've been doing around the professional learning plan and discuss our next steps for that work. But first, I want to start with why we created a professional learning plan to begin with. We appreciated the charge around this and recognized the need to establish a tone and a standard for professional learning in our district. There are a lot of great things already happening around professional development and training for our teachers and staff, and the way that we see this document is a way to align those efforts and fostering an inclusive and high expectations culture around continuous learning in our district. In essence, we see this as a guiding document and some agreements about how we think about, approach, and engage in professional learning. Of course, the charge comes from our board priority around culture to establish an inclusive culture of respect, support, and specifically continuous improvement for all our students, staff, and families. So when we thought about that charge around professional learning, we took an approach where we expanded on that vision and kind of asked ourselves, what are all the components that would be required of this first version of our professional learning plan to be able to cast that vision and create a positive culture around professional learning in our district? A lot of the research that Learning Forward, the national organization that is sort of the standard for professional learning and education, informs the work that we put into the professional learning plan. And we also explored adult learning theory and best practices in schools that we know promote teacher practice that results in positive student outcomes. We also took a look at our current reality. Like I said, we have a lot of great professional development opportunity in Arlington ISD, and so we built that into our plan as well. We have internal standards for design and facilitation of professional learning. We have a great instructional coaching model, and of course systems such as exchange time and our district-wide professional learning days, most recently the one that we had in January this year. And of course, a lot of feedback came into this plan. Department leaders and campus leaders were able to look at early versions of the plan and really think through and give us feedback about how this is relevant to the work that they're doing and the cultures that they're working to establish in campus. And again, it helped us just align those efforts and make sure that we were creating something where we're all on the same page. The professional learning plan document has three big components. The first one opens up with kind of the why and sets the stage for our collective responsibility in the district when it comes to professional learning. So these are a couple of pieces directly from the document itself. The first one talks about our beliefs and assumptions around professional learning. And in there is a highlighted belief that I want to take a minute to talk about, that our learning is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. And so when we think about our vision for professional learning, we want to move increasingly toward a continuous learning model. So learning over time versus one-time events that, again, are really important for learning, but don't necessarily offer us that opportunity over time for continuous learning. And with that, really thinking about what are the job-embedded supports that teachers and leaders need for sustained implementation over time. Another key belief represented in this section of the professional learning plan is around goal setting. So the idea is that we want to work really hard to align individual goals to team goals, and then of course to organizational goals, and those all wrap around to promote enhanced student outcomes. We also based some of our work on the instructional core model, and specifically in this visual, it shows the relationship between the teacher, the student, and the content. And so the idea is that student learning improves when there's a change in the core instructional interaction. So that is thinking about what teachers do with students and with content. So specifically when teachers' knowledge and skills grow, then they're able to design and implement more cognitively demanding tasks. And these high-level tasks, when we align them to rigorous content, then in turn increase student engagement and learning. So we want to make sure that the professional learning in our system is directly connected to these things so that our students and teachers are growing toward positive outcomes. And of course, to do this, we think about leaders at all levels of the system. So we drew on our leadership definition, and we want to promote the idea that everyone in our system contributes to the collective responsibility around professional learning. So whether I'm leading myself as a paraprofessional or a teacher or maybe even a finance specialist, or I'm a leader of others where I'm leading a team or a leader of leaders, a campus leader, or even our senior staff as leaders of organization. We want to make sure that everyone can see themselves in this professional learning plan and understands the importance for all of the professional learning that we do to point back to those student outcomes. The second part of the professional learning plan talks about the what of professional learning. So what are those best practices that we engage in as a system in order to promote our vision of continuous learning? And so what you see here is the adult learner profile that's based on the research by Malcolm Knowles, and it specifically distinguishes adult learning as different from student learning. And so the idea here is that, again, leaders at all levels really lean into this adult learning profile when we're designing experiences with our staff and the people we're charged to lead in order to create a learning environment that promotes professional learning. The really fascinating thing about our recent teacher feedback and our teacher focus group in April is that the feedback that we got from teachers matches this profile beautifully. So teachers talked a lot about desiring increased levels of agency and autonomy when it comes to professional learning, and learning that's really immediately relevant to the needs that they see in their classrooms so that they can be increasingly successful with students. So our goal is to increase teacher and staff role in growing professionally in a way that's aligned to those student achievement and learning needs. The third part of the plan talks about the how of professional learning. So what are some of our systems? One of the big hows we have is our opportunity in the calendar for this coming school year with the 5 embedded professional learning days. And so the way that we imagine that relevant, just-in-time, and overtime learning happening is in these short cycles where we're planning and doing around the learning, we're studying the impact and implementation of that learning, and then we're acting so that we're increasingly identifying the teacher practices that are enhancing student outcomes, excuse me, and amplifying those, and abandoning the practices that aren't yielding the results that we expected. The Learning Forward National Organization uses this sort of theory of action model, and it sort of sums up the hopes for our professional learning plan. So as we set the standards for quality professional learning and provide opportunities for that in our system, then of course the idea is that we're all growing in our practice together to improve student outcomes. And so we know our work is just getting started with this first draft of the professional learning plan. Some of the things that we know are on the radar coming up. One of those things is the district design team. This team is kicking off the planning for the professional learning days at the beginning of the year, as well as the 5 embedded professional learning days. And we're rooting that work in the ideas that are in the professional learning plan. We also want to continue to include campus leader voice and ensure that those 5 embedded days of learning are really the right paths in order to promote the teacher practices that will result in the student learning outcomes that we're looking for. And of course, we want to continue as we go through these days to get teacher feedback so that we can go through ourselves those quick cycles of iteration and improvement from day to day from those embedded professional learning days. And then the biggest work that we have to do is to figure out evaluation cycles. How are we going to measure our impact, not only of the professional learning itself, but how are those pieces of learning resulting in effective teacher practice and effective student outcomes? So we're excited to report that the key progress measure around designing a professional learning plan focused on district priorities is now complete, and my understanding is that you also have a copy of that. Again, thank you for the opportunity to share about this work, and I look forward to discussion and feedback as we continue to move into the next phases of our work.
right. Thank you, Ms. Cole-Leffel. We have some trustees with comments and questions. I'll start with Ms. Fowler.
Thank you, President.
Sorry, Ms. Fowler,
That's
can you
okay.
read? There you go.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, President Chapa. Thank you for this presentation. A lot of time and effort put into it. One thing that I want to make sure is that we always have a professional development that is really exactly what the teacher needs. As a teacher, I know many times I've been to professional development and I'm thinking, why in the world am I here? This has nothing to do with me or the course that I teach. So I want us to always keep that in mind and make sure that it's really meaningful. These teachers are giving of their time and their expertise, and we need to always make sure that it's geared to what they really need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fowler. Ms. McMurrow.
Thank you. I just have one brief question. You mentioned that part of this process would be keeping an eye on things and abandoning practices that aren't yielding the results desired. How will success be measured?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think that's something that we are still working on figuring out. So those evaluation cycles that we were talking about are something that we want to be able to establish some lead measures so that we know along the way what are those key points that we're looking for. The current way that we are measuring professional learning and teacher feedback around that is through our feedback system in our professional learning management system. So we get early feedback. The gap that we have in our system that we're working on is how then do we monitor that teacher practice and implementation and impact on student outcomes along the way.
Great. And I know that you guys have a current practice of if a teacher or any professional attends professional learning, there is instant evaluation, even if it's quick QR code or if it's a paper evaluation. Is that going to be part of the process still for you guys to get feedback?
Yes, we'll continue using our professional learning management system for that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McMurrow. Are there other trustees with comments or questions? All right, Dr. Smith.
I just want to thank Ginger and Stephen and a group of people who put this together. For those of you that don't know Learning Forward is the national organization that really drives what high-quality professional learning looks like in systems, and the plan that they've developed is very well aligned with the standards for professional learning from Learning Forward. So we're excited about this big step. As you all know, and we say this to our administrative team often, if we want to improve our schools, the way we have to do that is through improving our practice in our schools with the adults. And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. It means that we're committed to constant improvement on a daily basis from every position in every department to get better. In order to do that, we have to create the system where people can access learning and growth, and they've done an excellent job creating that system. So I wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Smith. We have one more report this evening, a Governance Committee report, and we'll turn it over to our Chair of the Governance Committee, Vice President McMurrow. Maybe, if I can make this work tonight.
Thank you. I got it. Thank you, President Chapa. Our governance committee met a couple weeks ago, and TASB is still in the process of completing their comprehensive policy review. So we will be having some policy reviews coming to y'all for consideration very soon. Just a little legislative update. As you guys know, House Bill 2 substitute is in Senate Committee on Education right now. They did have a hearing today starting at 9 a.m., but no action was taken. So the substitute bill of House Bill 2, which is proposing $55 now for the basic allotment, is still in committee, and that was a substantial decrease from the $395 basic allotment proposal that originally came out of the House. So I want to commend our board and share with our community that our board is making daily contact with these senators in our delegation that share a piece of Arlington ISD. And I want to invite our community, any teachers, parents, anyone watching, to join us in that advocacy effort. These Senate members, or these senators, are Senator Birdwell, Senator King, Senator Hancock, and Senator Royce West. The session ends on June 2nd. So I just really say that with urgency. Please continue to make that contact, and I really appreciate the efforts of our governance committee and our entire board, and we are not done advocating yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McMurrow.
We'll move on to the consent agenda portion. Dr. Smith?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. We will move on to consent agenda now. Does anyone have any items that they would like to withdraw from consent for separate consideration tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to approve the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Have a motion from Mr. Wilbanks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second from Ms. Fowler. Trustees, let's move to vote on consent. All right, all 7 trustees vote in the affirmative. Consent agenda unanimously carries. We'll now move on to our superintendent comment because we already had non-agenda forum earlier tonight. Dr. Smith.
Sorry, I got a little jumpy with my red button earlier. I did. I wanted the gavel back. I did want to add real quickly on to Ms. McMurrow's advocacy statement there. We obviously in resources, your priority on resources was to maximize resources to promote a thriving district while maintaining sound fiscal management. Arlington ISD has maintained sound fiscal management for a number of years, in fact, better than a lot of school districts. And that's the result of work from the Board of Trustees and our former superintendent, Ms. Moss, our former CFO, and all of the team that went into that. So we're in a better situation than many districts. But as I was talking with another superintendent recently, we've all been rated to the highest rating possible by TEA on our first report on how we handle financial accountability and transparency. We all, as public school districts, have been doing that on a regular basis. In Arlington ISD, I believe, had a perfect score this last year, if I'm not mistaken. So it shows that we're doing exactly what we're supposed to do, yet we're still faced with this deficit budget situation. And that is because the legislature isn't doing what they need to do to fund schools adequately according to the Constitution in the state of Texas. So I do encourage everyone to do that. I did film a video earlier today that's going out to our staff just to explain 2 important House bills that are being considered right now that I think are important for us. We always ask staff, obviously we want them to share exactly how they feel. We're not asking them to share our agenda, but we're asking them to make contact with those legislators and share their thoughts because public school matters in Arlington ISD. So that video will be going out to staff tomorrow, thanks to Spence and McKenzie. And we will continue to work to make sure that people know the story of Arlington ISD during this legislative session. While I am dismayed about their actions this week so far, I still have hope that someone along the way will bring a voice of reason to all of this for public schools. I wanted to note also that right now we in our community have this going out. Many of you have been at events with me over the course of the week and you've heard me mention this. This is a link to your thought exchange. This thought exchange is one simple question, and this is feedback directly that's going to be taken to you, Board of Trustees, when you get together in a workshop coming up on strategic plan. Part of your job as a Board of Trustees is to set the vision of the school district. And so this question was directly targeted to help give you community feedback on that. And the question is simply this: what are your hopes and dreams for the students in Arlington ISD? We ask people to participate in this, and so please take this opportunity, share this amongst all of your networks that you have as trustees, and get as much voice as we can from our community, because that input is going to ultimately help you as you land on a vision for the district moving forward. Okay, I think I have to read a script now, so here we go. It may be the end of the school year, but that hasn't slowed down our amazing students. Here are just a few highlights in my superintendent's report. That is not the right picture. So first, I got to visit Spear Elementary recently with Arlington Police Chief Al Jones for our annual Take 25 talk. We spent about 25 minutes talking with 4th, 5th, 6th, and 6th graders about being safe this summer, and we want to encourage all parents and guardians to do the same with their kids. Our Martin High School archery team did it again. They went back-to-back, defended their title, and are the 2025 national champions. Yes, give them a round of applause. Congratulations to these exceptional student athletes who excelled at the state tournament in Belton and then at the Western National Tournament in Sandy, Utah. And congrats to their coach, Alexander Villanueva. Many of you got to attend the annual What's Your Big Idea award ceremony recently held at UTA, where hundreds of our elementary and junior high students were celebrated for their entrepreneurial ideas. That word didn't come out right. I have no doubt many of these students will keep dreaming big and turn many of their ideas into reality in the future. Thanks to our partners in the Chamber of Commerce for putting on this contest every year and helping to inspire our students to become future business owners. Did you all know that all 6 of our traditional high schools had girls flag football teams this spring? They're sponsored by, they're sponsored by the Dallas Cowboys, and they played great football. It's been a great opportunity for more female athletes, female students to get involved in football, and I'm grateful to all our coaches who have embraced this sport and given these students a chance this year. We also want all of our students to be safe as we wrap up the school year and with lots of events like prom and graduation. That's why Arlington police officers and firefighters spent the past month visiting Arlington ISD high schools, staging a mock fatality crash at each of them and talking to students about making responsible choices. Thank you especially to Dr. Michael Hill and all of those that helped get this organized for the sake of our students and their learning experience. Finally, last slide, just a reminder to everyone, the best event of the year is coming up. We have graduation June 2nd and June 3rd for the high schools that you see listed there, and we can't wait to see all of our students crossing the stage. And that concludes my report this week.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. We'll now move on to trustee reports this evening. Do we have any trustees with reports? Ms. Fowler.
Thank you, President Chapa. Well, hot off the press, I got a text message from Coach Benke over at Seguin, and he says they may be the smallest high school in AISD, but they're one of the best represented. They had 10 students signed for football, 13 total athletes that signed to play at the next level. All of those from one high school, and it's our smallest high school. So I applaud Seguin for everything that they're doing, and congratulations to those 13 athletes, and thank you so much to the coaches for all that they pour into the students.
Thank you, Ms. Fowler. We'll move along to Mr. Wilbanks.
Thank you, President Chapa, and I'd like to give a big shout out to Piercy STEM Academy, who invited us down to their STEM showcase last week, and it was very impressive. I think Spence may have a few picks, or maybe not, but the kids were able to showcase all the wonderful things they're doing at each and every grade level, from even preschool, where they design boxes and turn them into designs of different animals or different cars or different robots. And the thing I was blown away with is they're teaching the upper grades entrepreneurial skills to start their own business, market. There is one group that was doing economics of looking at when they offer swag to the students to sell, and they keep track of their profits, what their profit margin, what the highest grossing item that was sold that semester. A lot of great, each teacher sponsors a different club, and the economics club track the profit and gross margins on the items sold. There's even in language arts, they use an oscilloscope to talk about poetry and how the pitch and delivery of the poetry, how that changes into the sound wave on this oscilloscope. So they're really threading STEM throughout all of the classes, and the kids were just totally engaged. The hallways were packed. A big success in the community. So a shout out to Principal Sarah Brooks and the staff at Piercy STEM Academy for creating such an engaging environment that fosters the love of STEM here in Arlington ISD. Oh, there's a few. Yeah. So.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wilbanks. We'll move on to Ms. Haynes.
Am I doing your pictures first, Sarah? Am I doing? Yes. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Because I also have one that's no pictures, if I'm doing that for. Okay. Well, I'll just start. So it is Food Allergy Awareness Week across the nation. And so I wrote up something that I just wanted to read just to bring awareness to food allergies and the many, many students we have in our district that live with food allergies on a daily basis. So 1 in 13 children have a food allergy. So that's roughly 2 children in every classroom. And food allergies are not a lifestyle choice. They're a life-threatening condition that requires our attention and understanding. And as a mother of a child with food allergies, I have experienced firsthand the challenges and hardships that come with navigating this reality, especially in a school setting. I do want to take a moment and express my gratitude for the incredible food allergy support that we have here in AISD. I know that our staff genuinely care about the well-being of our students. From my own personal experience, my son's teachers, principals, and coaches have been well-trained, diligent in their efforts to ensure that he's included when it comes to food-centered celebrations, all while taking the necessary precautions to make sure that he is safe. However, just because our experience has been somewhat seamless doesn't mean that our work is done. We must continue to educate those around us about the seriousness of food allergies. It's crucial that we cultivate inclusive environments where families can send their children with confidence, knowing that they will be safe when they're not with them. I'm committed to spreading awareness and advocating for our food allergy students and their families, and I hope and invite all of you to join these efforts, because together we can create a community that prioritizes safety, understanding, and inclusivity for all our children. Our food allergy kids and their families are absolutely worth it. So I encourage you to just have a conversation with your families. The more we talk about this, the more it is going to become second nature to make these accommodations for these children in our district.
Nice shirt.
Yeah, my shirt. I love it. So, all right. I also have another one with pictures. Legislative update part 2. Maybe. We recently made our. It's been a while. We didn't do this update. We made our 3rd trip down to the Capitol. If you were a trustee that went on that trip, will you raise your hand? And Dr. Collins came with us.
Dr. Collins was awesome.
Yeah, she was fantastic. So we visited the Capitol again, this time with a focus on advocating for assessment reform. We split up and were able to meet with how many? A lot of people. 10, 11, it was a lot. We split up and were able to meet with them. We even were able to have an impromptu meeting with Chairman Buckley in the hallway, thanks to Sarah flagging him down. So that was wonderful. I think that we did make some headway in the avenue, in the arena of assessment. I think that we were heard and they listened, and I'm hopeful that our work down there will come to fruition. So thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Ms. Haynes. Ms. McMurrow.
Thank you. And yes, I agree. Dr. Collins is a natural at advocacy. We were so happy she could join. We did miss you, Dr. Smith, but Dr. Collins was great. Recently, I was able to attend Career Day and be a speaker at Bryant Elementary. They organize, we have a lot of schools doing amazing spring events, and due to the nature of my job, I'm not able to make many, but this one was really special to me because the counselor at Bryant, Mrs. Nicole Davis, was my former 4th grade teammate at Lynn Hale Elementary, and it's been really neat to see her growing her career, and she put together the most phenomenal Career Day. Mayor Ross was there. There were first responders, and I felt really honored that she asked me to come. So I asked her, do you want me to talk about being a school board trustee, or do you want me to talk about being an instructional coach? She said both, please. And then I shared with 4th graders that day about both jobs. And then at the end, I had 3 separate classes vote on which job they think pays money. And as smart as they were, I have to say, all classes got it wrong. So just for anyone watching, school board trustees, we don't get a paycheck. But it was very fun, and here we are with the wonderful Bryant administrators and Counselor Mrs. Davis. And man, those Bryant Bees are so smart, so insightful, and I just know that one day they're going to chase a career that they are passionate about. So thank you, Ms. Davis, for opening that door. And a few weeks back, I was able to, we were invited to the Sam Houston High School P-TECH induction. I did not really know much about this event, but I was so excited when I arrived, and everyone you see sitting there in the Sam Houston cafeteria are 8th graders and their families who will be joining the P-TECH program at Sam, and that's one of 4 P-TECH programs AISD offers. This one at Sam Houston is logistics and mechatronics. Don't ask me details about what that means, but these students and their families learned a lot about it, and they were able to tour the learning spaces for the P-TECH programs, and Dr. Villarreal shared that it is anticipated to be full. The cohort coming in of incoming 9th graders is anticipated to fill up, and I love that they invited them in as 8th graders to get them excited and have their names, and they all signed an induction frame that will be displayed in the hallway. I just thought it was so neat, and it really instilled a sense of belonging to those incoming 9th graders that are current 8th graders at Workman and Carter. So I believe that P-TECH is amazing. That's Pathways in Technology. And again, this is just one of 4 programs we have in AISD open to all high school students. So parents, please look into P-TECH. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McMurrow. And mechatronics, I did not know much about either, except I've recently learned that it has something to do with the semiconductor industry, yes, which is a huge part of our technologically rich world. So, Ms. Richardson, you have the next report.
It has been a busy couple of weeks since we last saw each other. This week, we had the privilege to go to a volunteer luncheon. The really great thing about this volunteer luncheon this year is that our CTC students planned and executed the entire event. They actually came to Aaron Perales and his team and gave them 3 choices for themes. Then from there, they narrowed it down. They had a budget. They did all the decorations, the setup. They had the food vendor, everything, including the day of when something went wrong with the food. They were the ones who handled it, not the staff. This was part of their practicum for the end of the year, and they were able to do it all hands-on and have a great learning experience while we also celebrated all of our many volunteers across the district. We attended the other night Leading with Light. It was a celebration to be able to celebrate all of our different lead teachers across the district. Our Micah was the host of the event and kicked it off. It was very different. We had it over at our athletics center, and they had everything from finish that line to strike a pose of your favorite inspirational teacher. Again, our CTC students did the food and the appetizers for the event and were able to be showcased and treat our lead teachers with something a little bit different. Athletic signing day was this week, and we had so many athletes from across the district. We have Arlington High that was able to be celebrated. Our own Lynn Wynn and his wonderful wife were there to see their senior student off. He is going to be an incoming freshman at Austin College, but sweet to be able to watch him and his kiddos. All of our high schools across the district were represented well. We have pictures from all of those. You want to go to the next. As you can see, the picture, the coaches are just as happy as the kids are, and watching them shake hands and give the hugs, the families in the stands, it was incredible. There was as many female athletes represented as male, and so it was nice to see that it was not one or the other, but they are all going on to have some phenomenal opportunities, not just here in Texas, but across the United States, even have one headed to West Point. So we have some brilliant students and some very athletically talented students as well. This past weekend was a musical weekend across Arlington ISD. Martin High School performed Once Upon a Mattress. They are so talented, and they even had a live orchestra that performed with them, which was made up, of course, of their own orchestra students. It was wonderful to see them and be able to laugh, and a little bit of a Mother's Day treat to get to go enjoy a show. Also was Mamma Mia at Lamar High School. This was special. The girl in the pink shirt is one of our SLAB students, Kara. Kara has been with us for multiple years. Kara had brought a group of friends to see it, but I was very touched that when I came in by myself, was going to sit down, an 18-year-old kid asked if I would come sit with them. When an 18-year-old kid invites you to sit with them and their friends and laugh and enjoy, you never say no. So it was great to spend the evening with Kara and her friends and to see the talent at Lamar High School. This past week, we had Mother's Day celebration. President Chapa and Trustee Larry, Mike, and myself were invited to Corey's second grade to help serve all the food and to celebrate the mothers. This is a tradition that they have done for some time, where they have different food vendors come in, but then the children do songs in Spanish and English to celebrate their mothers, complete with booklets, a photo backdrop where they can have photos taken with their mom, and to tell them everything that they love about them. We went to Arbor this past week to celebrate our seniors graduating. Kylie, Taylor, and London were all given scholarships that were selected by our own Arbor realtors here in Arlington, Texas, and we are so thankful for the partnership and all they do to contribute to our students. Travel and Sports Legacy Foundation. You may see some familiar faces here. We have former President Keisha Mays, who is the current president, but they had a panel of people there. One of those was our very own Coach A. We also had the owner of Prince Lebanese there, and they were talking about what is the travel industry and sports industry going to look like, and how are our students being used. It was amazing to see all the different partnerships that we have going on, but also in the bottom left-hand corner, that is London, who we saw earlier, who was given a scholarship by Arbor. This is Justin. They both have paid internships. Taylor. These both have paid internships this summer, and we are so excited for them because how cool is it that you get an internship, but you're getting paid for that as well? West Elementary hosted their reading day, and Trustee Fowler and Larry, Mike, and I were able to go. Also, Larry, Mike may be preferred to call Mike Morales. Miles, I'm it's late. Miles Morales came, and the kids were so excited, and all they wanted to know was if he would climb walls. Yes. It was great to be able to go to West Elementary, but also that Barnett came, and they took part of their day to come and read to all these students and in different classrooms, but loved how they were pouring into these kids and didn't just stay in their own bubble, but were able to get out and share with others. This right here, Larry, Mike, will you turn on your microphone? Yeah. Thanks. We went to Sherrod Elementary today, and one of the things we got to learn about was their spring fling that they do. They have partnered with David Lewis in our food department, but also Arlington Charities, and with Eric Neal and Paige Payne. They did their first ever spring fling, had all the food donated, and parents were able to come and get 3 bags of food for their children, along with play games and have Kona Ice.
Yeah, she's doing great things over there at Sherrod. I think when she first got there, the scores were really low, like in the 50s. Mm-hmm. Now they're hopeful that when the scores get released, there's going to be mid-70s, maybe 80s. Mm-hmm. So the culture is definitely changing there, and I think it's indicative of what we are doing here at Arlington ISD through every school.
One of the things that impressed us most was she talked about when she first started there that they did have different issues in their classrooms. So when she started as a principal, she moved her office to the hallway, and she worked from the hallway to be present and be available to what the students need, but also the teachers. So it was great to meet with Principal Hicks, who is also our Teacher of the Year. Principal of the Year. So it was great to see here. Also, while we were there, they were setting up. Many of you are going to recognize Barbara. Barbara is the librarian there, and they surprised her today. She is retiring after 45 years as a librarian in AISD. So congratulations to her for all she does. We typically see her at our meetings. She has been to many of our board meetings and served on many district committees as well. So congratulations to Barbara.
Oh, this is Young Junior High. I think I visited this Monday, meeting with Principal London and seeing the great things that she is doing there. Without Brooklyn, I don't really take too many pictures. I just talk a lot. But one of the things that you can see is a show choir there performing. They use every piece of that real estate, inside, outside, you name it. They use that to the max, and she's very proud of the school. It's a little different as far as the architecture. Like, it reminds me of a bank vault when you first walk in. But they're doing great things there. And once again, another good school.
All right, are there any other trustees with reports tonight? All right.
We want to wish good luck to our 4 Destination Imagination teams that are headed to Globals. They left this morning at 6 a.m. and will be back on Monday, but want to wish them good luck at Globals and can't wait to see what they do and how well they're going to represent Arlington ISD.
Okay. Seeing no other requests to speak, we'll move on to our Secretary's report. Madam Secretary, do we have any matters reported for further consideration?
We do not.
Okay. Well, all items on tonight's agenda have been addressed. We have no matters to discuss in closed session. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 9:43.